family here. This is Teukie. He's a 7-month-old Weimaraner mix that I adopted from Texas. And we wanted to put together this little video for our friends and family to talk about our recent adventure in the 100-mile wilderness. So we just got back from backpacking 100 miles, and I took some video along the way. So I was going to put that together for anybody who might be interested in checking it out. So why backpack? I guess every year I try to get away for at least one little session in the woods, solo backpacking. It's really important for me to kind of get away from the expectations of society and people and life, and just kind of focus on surviving and walking for a few days. It helps me reset. This year I was actually supposed to go on a shorter trip with my bestie, but then she had some work obligations come up at the last minute. So I ended up with this chunk of time that was just enough time to do maybe an even longer trip. So I don't usually consider the Appalachian Trail when I go on my trips, just because I envision it as this very crowded trail. But I realized that at this time of year, so we're at the end of May now, it's too early for the southern folks, or the northbound folks, to be coming through yet, and it's also too early for the southbound folks to have started yet. There's still a decent amount of snow on Katahdin. So it's actually a time of the summer when there wouldn't be a lot of people out there. So all of a sudden it became a possibility, and I don't know, I guess just the challenge of walking 100 miles sounded really exciting at the time that the idea occurred to me. So that's what we decided to do. So there were some special considerations given the season, first off. So obviously a plus for me was that there were no people, but there were also some sort of consequences of not having lots of other people out already. And one of those is that it can be tough to follow the trail sometimes, especially in areas with a lot of beech leaves down, because they come down later in the season. They cover the trail. It's not always obvious. You don't have a well-traveled path through some of the more deciduous areas. See the next blaze anywhere? Oh, I see it. All right, on beech leaves can hide so many surprises in the spring. Trip hazards. But beech trees are beautiful. They just hang on to their leaves so long. They don't drop until later in the winter or early in the spring, so they're still all here. There's also, when there's not a lot of people out, that means that you're breaking all the spider webs with your face. There's nobody really going through and clearing them out before you, no matter how late you get up in the morning. So that's another drawback. 3,526 spider webs. I know. You're only getting the low ones, dude. It's also, there's usually a lot of sort of winter tree carnage, lots of stuff falling on the trail, and it's a little early for the volunteer trail crews to have cleaned all that up yet. So we definitely came across a good number of downed trees every day. Ooh. What do you think? Over, around, or through? I know, I feel the same way. Nothing for it but to do it. Yeah, I might try to through this one too. Tell me how it goes. Yeah, I know. It's alright, I think the trail continues over there. Oh boy, what do we got here? Round or through? May is also a season of lots of bug activity. So most of the time when we were hiking, a little bug spray and speed would keep them at bay, but definitely when we stopped for the night to set up camp, we got inundated with black flies. Then there were some days that the mosquitoes were pretty bad, which I like even less than black flies. You ever wondered about black fly season in Maine? A lot of those are inside the tent with us, so now we go on a killing spree. It's also, the trail can be kind of wet at this time of year, but that's a plus and a minus. So it's never hard to find water, but a lot of times you're sloshing through water on the trail.
Kabooey. Yeah, I'm coming.
We also had some special considerations because of Teukie, who's napping now in the sun, because he is not an adult dog yet. He is a big, strong puppy, but he's kind of at the age where he is eating the maximum amount of food per day, and he's not yet capable of, carrying the weight that he will be able to do when he's a big, full-grown dog. So I had to travel with basically a full bag of puppy kibble plus some dehydrated food that we got from Petco. Plus I had to throw in a few extra sort of backpacker meals just in case we ran out. And we timed the food just perfectly. So he ran out of kibble on our very last day. He got to have a backpacker meal, and he was pretty excited about that. But yeah, that definitely contributed to the weight we were carrying. So I think when I left, Kelsey weighed my pack, and it was 55 pounds. And then at the end, it was 40 pounds. So we were carrying 15 pounds of food to cover the 10 days because there is no opportunity to restock along the way. So that is another challenge of the 100-mile wilderness. Teukie did carry his own pack, but again, he's a growing puppy, so I didn't want to make him carry a ton of weight. So he carried some of his food, and then at the end, he was carrying basically garbage and laundry. So light things, of course. Overview. We were out. We had a head start of a couple hours on Friday night, and then our first full day was Saturday, and we did sort of nine days starting with that. The weather was mostly nice. It rained on us a little bit. We dealt with it just fine. Our important stuff stayed dry, and we were able to dry out pretty easily. So you'll notice in the videos that I don't call him by his real name a whole lot, and that's just a training thing. So when you have a dog, you want it to always respond very strongly when it hears its name, like Teukie. Yes, great job. So he came right over when he heard his name. When I'm just talking to him conversationally, I usually call him something completely different, like Pucky is what I most always call him, but got a lot of other names I use for him too. So another thing that we needed to think about was puppy etiquette, right? So it's important to obviously keep a dog under control at all times when you're out backpacking, which can mean keeping him on a leash. We've found out that it actually worked really well for Teukie to hike behind me a lot of the time. He would stay right on my heels. He didn't react to stuff ahead of us. He kind of just zoned out and was in sort of pack leader follow mode. And that worked really well. So the few times we did come across other people, he was right there. I could just put a hand down onto the handle of his pack and we were good. But I also needed some time to make sure I was paying attention to how he was feeling. So I did ask him to walk ahead of me regularly each day for a few sessions, just so I could make sure that his pack was riding comfortably, he wasn't, limping or otherwise acting like something was bothering him. And it was a good chance to check in and make sure I was paying attention to how he was feeling about everything. So, hey dude, let's check your pack. You look all lopsided. Teukie, come here. Yes, let's fix you. I know, your load's not even. Yeah, so most of the time he was right behind me, but there were times when I asked him to go ahead, and that worked well too. Okay, so without further ado, here are just some random clips from interesting moments in our daily experience on the hike. Hey dude, you did a really good job. You only fell in once. Your stuff's pretty waterproof though. So this is the Rainbow Stream lean-to. Pretty awesome spot. What do you think, Teukie? It's a beautiful trail. It's Rainbow Stream down there. The sun just came out. We might stop for lunch somewhere where there's open sky and we can charge up the inReach a little bit. Woohoo! What do you think? This is what it's all about, Puck. Beautiful. Pretty close to the edge there, bud. All right, let's go. I'm coming. Happy puppy. Another view of Crescent. Very curious as to how the boat got here. Seems like all the little bodies of water have a boat stashed somewhere. Alright, come on, Pucky. I know, you had your swim. Coming up on the peak above Lake Namakonta. Somebody is impatient. I'm coming. Dog with a death wish. Can you get away from the edge of that precipice? Hey, leave the moss. Come on. Let's go. Yeah, you can lead. I know. Mama didn't let you fall off the cliff. Teukie. Alright, not going to stay here very long because this guy is determined to go overboard. Alright. But this is Lake Namakonta from Nabuntakuk Peak. So I've camped down there. And I've actually been to this little spot before. When we were on a canoe trip, we took a little hike. Alright, head back to the trail. Woohoo! Yeah, that's why I don't like you prancing around on the edges of precipices. You trip. Alright, monkey, let's go. Is it a good morning swim? If you climb back into the tent with all that wet fur, I'll probably kill you. Good boy! Lakeside camping on Namakonta Lake. It's very foggy out there this morning. I'm a little close to the trail, but not a lot of people have been around. Hey, Teukie! No wet dogs in the tent. Happy dog. It's a little bit later. Fog burned off. That's Lake Namakonta. Beautiful. We're just giving our solar panel a little extra time to charge. It's way down there on the beach, so no one will be tempted to go swimming and then go stand next to it and shake, I hope. Alright, we're gonna get going in a few minutes. Is that a good place for a lunch break? We were up there. Alright, time to get going. We're following, I think this is Namakonta stream. Trail has been winding along next to it for a ways. Really beautiful. Somebody's trying to pass me. Follow. Yes, good boy. What a day. This is the Namakonta stream lean-to. Stop. We just took a little break. I think the lean-to is down that little trail. See the roof through the trees. Beautiful, mature evergreen forest. Easy walking. Just stopped to check out this spring near a lean-to. So it's a real spring. The water is actually bubbling up out of the ground. You can see there's a pretty good flow. Instant stream. Alright, we're going to go a little further before we camp for the night. Although this guy would love to stop here. Alright, you ready to go? Yeah, this was our campsite for last night. Joe Mary Lake. There's a goose out there yelling at us. I don't know. Yeah, packing up, getting ready to head out. There are certainly worse things we could be doing with our time today. This is lovely. We're kind of alongside, I think, Cooper Brook. It's over there somewhere. We see it every now and then. This looks like an old logging road. I don't know. Double wide. I know, I'm coming. This is where we cross Cooper Brook, I guess. Here goes nothing. Actually wasn't too bad. Not as bad as some of the smaller crossings we've done. So this is Crawford Lake. It's funny to find it out here, middle of Maine, instead of in Crawford Notch in New Hampshire. Alright, ready to do more miles? Yeah! It's Crawford Pond, I guess. Stop to grab water and have a quick swim. You want the stick? You can throw the stick again. I'll throw it for you. Let's see. Ready? It's a happy hiker. We're up pretty high. I think 1,200 feet or something. High lake. I don't see any motorboats out there. Or any humans at all. But I think there is road access. So, alright, I'm going to filter some water and then we're going to get on our... We're coming down Little Boardman Mountain. There's this beautiful view here. Alright, onward. Here we are, camped at Mountain View Pond. It's apparently a native brook trout population here that's like natural. So there's some fishing regulations posted. Pretty cool. Also very buggy. Teukie's already in the tent. He had it with the bugs. Alright. Heading in. The bugs aren't as bad here this morning. We just tanked up with water. Somebody knows the camera's running. So even here, what seems like this isolated wilderness pond, somebody managed to haul up canoes. It's a mystery. Almost every water body we've come across, even if there's no road. Alright, I'm gonna pack up and hit the road. We got thunderstorms in the forecast today, possibly, and a lot of our high ground. So, be an interesting confluence. We'll have to watch. Alright, but we're gonna at least head out and suss out how things are. We just came down a pretty steep section of trail with lots of downed spruce trees, and now we are being rewarded by this lovely stroll through the forest. I'm hoping that we get some sun at some point today. My inReach is below 50%, so that's when I stopped doing all the extraneous stuff, like sending fun messages to people or checking the weather. I do have a weather report that's fairly recent though, but still, it'd be nice to get back up towards 90%. Alright, off we go. I think the puppy is finally settled into this is our life now. I think the first couple days he was expecting to go home at night, but he's kind of kicked into trail mode. Not that he was bad before, he's just finding opportunities to have fun. His pack's lighter too, but it was never heavy. Alright, here we go. We just got owned by fording I guess it's the east branch of the Pleasant River. It's another one of those, there's a rope that you hang on to overhead, but there's a lot of the rocks you had to step on were probably a foot under the surface of the water right now, so there was no way to keep dry boots. So we stopped here at the lean-to, switch out socks and try to mop up as much of the sloshing water in my boots as possible. They feel alright now. And yeah, onward. We've started the ascent to Whiteface. Looks terrifying on the topo map, but it's actually some pretty good zigzags. Ooh, switchbacks, if you will. I'm coming. Somebody gets the lead on the uphill because he's so much faster. Toad in a hole. Hey. I know, I'm coming. I saw a toad in a hole. Somebody found a much needed snow cone. I think we're at about 2,600 feet. Still heading for Whiteface. We are pretty much at the summit of Whiteface, Whitecap, Whiteface. So we're doing some charging. inReach is getting pretty low, so I kept it on 4-hour updates instead of my 1-hour updates that I usually do when we're moving. And we're drying some stuff while that charges. Puppy just had a little puppy nap. Did you have a nap? And yeah, forecast said maybe thunder, or actually it said lightning and thunder starting at 9 a.m. I haven't seen any evidence of that, but we're trying to be careful not to be caught up high if any weather kicks up. Alright, so in other words, charge and drive fast. Still a good amount of snow on the trail. Somebody's very excited about it. Gentle with the pack. Oh god.
Pucky.
Just visited the outhouse at the tent site. It's beautiful. Big, luxurious. Uses an aerobic composting system. Really clean. 5 stars. Right? Was it fun to be indoors for a minute? You ready to walk? Bucky trashed his pack yesterday. He got it caught on a branch and ripped out both of the seams holding it together. So I did an emergency repair with the 6 safety pins I have and some P-cord. So far it's holding. We're trying not to do the running through the woods with the pack thing anymore. Right? You gonna follow? You ready to go? Get out of the bugs? Or at least outwalk them? I forgot to document when the tent was still standing, but that's our spot where we were. And this guy is ready to rumble. Alright. Let's hit the trail. Made it to the summit of Gulf Haggis Mountain. And that's good, because now we go down and there's hints of distant thunder, so be good to not be in a high place when that gets here. Alright. The path down looks a little not so on the map, so we'll see how this goes. We just weathered our first thunderstorm. Just pulled off. Found a little nook for Puppy to lie down. I don't think he's that impressed. Ready to hit the road? You done? You're a good boy. You're such a good dog. Let me hit you with the bug spray. You see mosquitoes on your face. This is a pleasant river that we just crossed. Not even a pretense that one could get across it without getting their feet wet. So we just sloshed right on through and stopped on the other side to swap out the soaking wet socks for slightly less wet socks that are now pretty wet because the boots were wet. Puppy had a good snack and did some puppy stuff running around. He had his nap during the thunderstorm, so he didn't need to waste valuable break time napping. Alright, and now I guess we're headed up to Chairback Mountain as long as the thunder stays away. So we've been pleasantly surprised after about a third of a mile of steep uphill maybe up the Henderson Brook, I don't know, on our way up to Chairback Mountain, which when you think about the name, sounds like it could be kind of ominous. But anyway, a lot of it's just this. We're going across the slope at a really nice, gentle incline. It's beautiful. Making good time. Spirits are lifted after the wet crossing and the scary lightning storm for Pucky. Right, Pucky? Yeah. We've achieved the summit of East Chairback. The last, 600 feet was exciting. I thought it would be tiring, but turns out when the adrenaline's going, you don't feel tired as much. Yeah, it was definitely challenging for a dog. There was a steep boulder field with giant boulders to navigate, but got him up here. So beautiful. Alright, I think we earned ourselves a night in a lean-to if there's a space. What do you say, Pucky? You want to stay up there? That's the lean-to. What a spot. Alright. I'm ready. Yep. I'm ready. Let's sleep here. Oh, it's even got flat boards. Not the poles. Perfect. I just spent a luxurious night in this lean-to. Got all of our stuff dried out from the rainstorm and the river crossing yesterday. And yeah, now we're gonna go tank up on water while the inReach charges. Beautiful spot. Right on the edge of a precipice. with a little stream down below where we're gonna go get water. But some of these things are just in magnificent locations. I bet they get a lot of use during the season. Alright, Pucky. Go get some water and then have some brekkie. You happy dog today? You're always a happy dog. So one drawback of staying in a lean-to is that the satellite transmitter can't actually see any satellites, and apparently it just keeps trying until the battery's dead. So first order of business today, charging that up. It's essential equipment. So this is the water filtering system. I fill this bag from the water source, screw the filter on the top, and then I filter by squeezing it. I don't have a very good grip. There we go. Filter by squeezing it through the filter into a Nalgene bottle. I could filter right into my Camelback, but that can get awkward. I like to have the hard water bottle. Makes things a little easier, and also if there's a really cold night, I can boil a bunch of water, put it in the Nalgene, and bring it into my sleeping bag. Stay warm. Quite luxurious. Alright, so once the Nalgene's filled, you're going to pour it into the Camelback. On a hot day, I will fill that thing all the way to capacity of 3 liters. But today we're not going too long. I need to adjust my grip. I have to do this one-handed. I think we're just aiming for like 8 miles today, and I don't think it's supposed to be super hot. So I'll put 2 liters in there and then have a half-liter reserve in the Nalgene, so that when I run out of water in the Camelback, I still have some water and I have some time to stop at another stream. It's nice to not have to do this too many times a day because it is time consuming. It's worth the extra weight sometimes, just to filter a bunch at once. Alright, then the last step is I just drew up some of my clean filtered water, and I'm just going to squirt it backwards through the filter. It's going to be really hard to do one-handed. So I just line it up like that, and I press the plunger, and that'll squirt out some of the coarse debris that may have just gotten filtered out, and it helps keep the filter going, hopefully, longer. I do carry a spare filter, because I don't think I could MacGyver a 0.1 micron water filter. I also carry iodine tablets, but not enough to filter water for a 10-day trip, so, yeah. I don't know. Seemed smart to carry a backup filter since it's essential equipment. Alright. Oh yeah. The other reason I like to carry a hard water bottle is because disaster can strike with these things sometimes. I've definitely popped them, or connections have come loose and my entire water supply is leaked out everywhere. So it's nice to have a old school backup. Okay. I'm going to finish up here, and then we're going to head back up and start packing. While I have it all laid out, here's our sleeping equipment. So I have this inflatable, really light air mattress that I use to sleep on, and because it's an air mattress and punctures would be a problem, we have puppy boots. So anytime puppy comes in the tent, he's got to have his slippers on, and that way his claws won't puncture anything or rip the tent, which is also pretty delicate. Then I have a down sleeping bag, which is great as long as it stays dry, and not so great if it gets wet. So primo importance to keep that in the driest part of the pack and not let it get wet. And then I carry this little light silk sheet because I'm a princess and I don't like to sleep directly on the sleeping pad. Then we got Puppy's sleeping pad because nights are cold and he can get cold too, and that just straps to the outside of my pack and annoys me all day. And then he's got a little sleeping bag too. Yeah, so in case my down sleeping bag gets wet and useless, our backup is to share his sleeping bag, which we haven't had to do, but right, Pucky? Sun nap. All right, back to packing. Enjoying a little downtime this morning. Whoa! What are you doing? Are you happy, puppy? Such a lovely area. This chairback range. Beautiful little trail. Happy little puppy. It's been an amazing amount of work done on these trails. It's a beautiful staircase. And you can tell it took a ton of effort. Alright. I think we're ascending Third Mountain now. Our sun went away, but the air is cool and there's a breeze. I think it's keeping the bugs away. I'm not overheated, so perfect. Yeah, I'm coming. You took the risk when you passed me. Hey, Bucky. What do you think of the top of Third Mountain? Pretty incredible. I don't see too many signs of human civilization out there. The breeze feels so nice. Well, the clouds are dark, but not too threatening. Looks like there's clearer weather coming in. Alright, let's find the trail onward. Yikes. I was not expecting to see a plane crash on this trip. Okay, Pucky. Pay your respects. We are in the Fourth Mountain Bog, and supposedly there's rare and endangered plants here. I do see pitcher plants. I would not recognize other plants. Too bad Kathy's not here. Another trip. Alright, stay on the bridging, right? Here on Barren Mountain. Hadn't really intended to do this summit today, but it made sense to move on. There's a old tower up there. Lots of wind. Wind sounds kind of spooky blowing through the old fire tower. Alright, heading down to find a place to sleep. This is our spot for tonight. It's beautiful. We're a little close to the trail. We bailed on the Cloud Pond lean-to plan because it was like 0.4 miles from the main trail. And I felt like I was already cutting the timing tight. I didn't want to add an extra mile, and then it's also Memorial Day weekend, so there was a non-zero probability that somebody else would have already been up there. Anyway, yeah, we got down off. We went over Barren Mountain and came down until we found a puddle of water we could filter. Had our fill. And then found this nice flat spot to camp. And somebody's already napping. Got his booties on. You happy to be in the tent? You tired puppy. We kind of ran around and had fun a lot today. We definitely did some gallivanting. Alright. Time to zip in for the night. Barren ledges. So beautiful. What a day. So, today I'm trying to hike with the solar panels out. I think the satellite transmitter, the Garmin InReach, is it's having trouble locating satellites. Maybe because of solar flare activity, which I knew was a possibility going into this. But it's eating through its batteries trying to find satellites, I think, is what the problem is. So I stupidly decided not to bring the battery pack that I could charge it off easily. I brought the solar panels instead, forgetting that in order to really solar charge, it's spend an hour or two of downtime in the middle of the day, and you need good sun in order for those to actually work. So just using it, the solar panel here and there hasn't really kept up the charge. So I'm hiking with it today, with the inReach plugged in somewhere back there, I think on that side. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's gonna be fun to duck under trees like this. All right, little buddy, you ready to keep going? Yeah. You gonna follow me? Well, we just did another rope crossing. Not of this little thing, but there's a bigger stream over there. Long Pond stream, maybe? Tried a different approach. I took off my nice dry socks first and just laced my boots up as tight as I could. And just went with it. Definitely still got a bunch of water in there. But it's better than having wet boots and wet socks. Alright, train tracks. Ready to walk across the train tracks? Yay! Pretty weird. Train tracks in the middle of the wilderness. We heard a train go by not too long ago too, so we'll just get across quickly. Alright, wasn't having another wet boot crossing, so I took them off and barefooted it. It was hard, very slippery, but my battery is so close to dying, but just wanted to document how this trail just runs along this rocky crest forever. It's really cool. You can see lots of cool scenery. All right. Hey, dude, wait. You're in follow mode. Good boy. Who's a good boy? Follow. Big Wilson Falls. Really impressive. You can see the bedrock. It's like almost vertical striations. I think that means it was lifted like 90 degrees. Anyway, before Pucky falls in. Final campsite, night 9. We're just above Big Wilson Falls. Should be a nice sunset to our trip. Sleepy puppy. He is conked out.